specific heat capacity of solid and liquid. Specific heat capacity. The specific heat capacity denoted as letter S. In previous lecture, we defined the thermal expansion or three coefficient of thermal expansion, that is linear expansion, volume expansion and areal expansion. And all this expansion is relative to amount of heat. When the amount of heat is given to substance, then substance can be expanded. Today we define the specific heat capacity. The specific heat capacity is defined as the amount of heat per unit mass. The amount of heat per unit mass absorbed or given out by the substance to change its temperature by 1 degree Celsius or 1 degree Kelvin is called specific heat capacity. Or specific heat capacity is defined as the amount of heat is, suppose delta Q is the amount of heat is amount of heat per unit mass. Suppose this mass is m, per unit mass absorbed or given out by the substance to change the temperature by 1 degree Celsius or 1 degree Kelvin. Therefore, S is equal to delta Q divided by m into delta Q. This is the formula of specific heat capacity, where S means specific heat capacity, delta Q means amount of heat absorbed or gained, m is mass of substance, and delta T is the change in temperature. Therefore, the SI unit of specific heat capacity is joule per kg degree Celsius or joule per kg degree Kelvin. This is the SI unit of specific heat capacity. Now, if we change the amount of mass, and that amount of mass replaced by concept mole, then the specific heat capacity is called the molar, or it is called the molar specific heat. Therefore, we define another definition is molar specific heat capacity. Molar or molar heat capacity. The molar heat capacity is defined as, this molar heat capacity can be given as C. The molar heat capacity is defined as the amount of substance is specified in terms of mole, or this mole is denoted as letter mu, instead of mass m. instead of mass m, then that specific heat capacity is called molar specific heat capacity or simply molar heat capacity. Therefore, molar heat capacity can be given as C is equal to delta Q divided by mu into delta. This is the formula of molar specific heat capacity or molar heat capacity. Therefore, SI unit is joule per mole degree Celsius or joule per mole degree Kelvin. This is the SI unit of molar specific heat. Now we define the specific heat capacity in case of gas. Another definition is the specific heat capacity of gas. We know that every gas is heated, or when the gas molecule or gas is kept or enclosed in container, and if we heated that gas, its temperature changes, and due to change in temperature there is change in pressure and change in volume. There is three terms. If this gas is ideal gas, that is satisfy equation PV is equal to nRT, where P means pressure, V means volume and T means temperature. In case of gas, if gas is heated, the temperature changes and as well as the pressure and volume is also changes. Hence, the specific heat capacity are of two types. The first type is called specific heat capacity at constant volume, and this is denoted as SP. The first type of specific heat capacity of gas is specific heat capacity at constant volume, that is SV. And this specific heat capacity can be defined as the amount of or the quantity of heat or amount of heat absorbed or gain or release for the rise or fall of temperature of unit mass of the gas through 1 degree Celsius or 1 degree Kelvin if volume kept constant is called specific heat capacity at constant volume. Specific heat capacity म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस आपण एखाद्या सबस्टन्सला हीट देतो, हीट दिल्यानंतर ती जी क्वांटिटी असणार आहे हीटची, ती क्वांटिटी एकतर रिलीज करेल किंवा ऍब्सॉर्ब करेल फॉर त्या एखाद्या सबस्टन्सला आपण जर उष्णता दिली पर मास, तो सबस्टन्सची क्वांटिटी 1 किलो असेल आणि त्याला जर उष्णता दिली तर त्याचं टेम्परेचर एक तर कमी होतं किंवा वाढतं. कितीने? 1 डिग्रीने किंवा 1 केल्विनने. त्यावेळेस व्हॉल्यूम कॉन्स्टंट राहतं. अशा प्रकाराला म्हणायचं स्पेसिफिक हीट कॅपॅसिटी ॲट कॉन्स्टंट व्हॉल्यूम आणि इट इज डिनोटेड ॲज SV. सेकंड टाइप B, specific heat capacity at constant pressure. SP is denoted as SP. The definition is same. The quantity of heat or amount of heat is absorbed or gained for the rise or fall of temperature through 1 degree Celsius or 1 degree Kelvin and pressure kept constant. Pressure kept constant. That type is called specific heat capacity at constant pressure. And this is denoted as SP. This is the two types of specific heat capacity at constant volume and at constant pressure. SV means if we given the heat or quantity of heat on any substance of mass 1 kg, then its temperature increases or decreases by 1 degree Celsius or 1 degree Kelvin and volume kept constant, then that is called SV, that is specific heat constant at specific heat capacity at constant volume. And if we given the amount of heat or quantity of heat and absorb or gain or release of temperature, or temperature is increases or decreases through 1 degree or 1 degree Kelvin or 1 degree Celsius and pressure kept constant, then that type of specific heat capacity is called specific heat capacity at constant pressure, or it is denoted as SP. Instead of unit mass, instead of amount of mass or substance mass, we use the mole. Then that specific heat capacity is called molar specific heat capacity. Instead of mass or instead of mole, we change. आपण ह्या डेफिनेशन मध्ये की अमाउंट ऑफ सबस्टन्स चा मास विचारात घेतलं. जर आपण अमाउंट ऑफ सबस्टन्स चा मोल विचारात घेतलं इन्स्टेड ऑफ मास, तुम्ही जर तिथं मोल हा शब्द वापरला तर स्पेसिफिक हीट कॅपॅसिटी न म्हणता मोलार स्पेसिफिक हीट कॅपॅसिटी असं म्हणायचं. अनदर डेफिनेशन इज मोलार स्पेसिफिक heat capacity, and the molar specific heat capacity is also two types. The first type is molar specific heat capacity at constant volume, which is denoted as CV. And second type, the molar specific heat capacity at constant pressure, it is denoted as CP. The CP and CV is the molar specific heat capacity in case of gas molecule, and the molar specific heat at constant volume and pressure, SP and SP, is called the specific heat capacity. And we use the amount of, ज्यावेळेस आपण amount of substance चा मास विचारात घेतला आणि मासला जर आपण हीट टेम्परेचर वाढवलं, त्याला हीट दिली, तर त्याचं टेम्परेचर 1 डिग्रीने किंवा 1 केल्विनने वाढतं. जर मास असेल तर आपण त्याला SP आणि SP म्हणून मासच्या ऐवजी आपण मोल विचारात घेतला, आणि जर मोलला आपण त्या सबस्टन्सच्या मोलला उष्णता दिली अमाउंट ऑफ मोलला, तर त्याचं टेम्परेचर 1 डिग्रीने किंवा 1 केल्विनने वाढतं. त्यावेळेस द टर्म येते मोलार, दॅट इज CV and CP. Also we define the small concept, that is the relation between specific heat and molar specific heat. That is the relation between specific heat, relation between specific heat and molar specific heat. The first relation in case of constant volume or constant pressure, in case of constant pressure, Cp is equal to mu into SP. This is the first relation. Cp is equal to mu into Sp, where Sp is specific heat capacity, Cp means molar specific heat, and this mu is the molecular weight of gas. This mu is called molecular weight of gas, and another Cv is equal to mu into Sv. This is the another relation between specific heat capacity and molar specific heat capacity. Also, we obtain the heat equation. The heat equation is nothing but the heat received or given out. Suppose Q, the heat received or given out, that is Q is equal to mass of substance, that is M, into change in temperature. That is delta T, and into specific heat, that is S, or specific heat capacity S. Therefore, the heat equation is given as Q is equal to M into delta T into S. This equation Q is equal to M into delta T into S, where Q means heat or amount of heat or quantity of heat, M means mass of substance, delta T means change in temperature, S means specific heat capacity, and this relation is called heat equation or heat relation. Also, the heat capacity, it is also called thermal capacity. The heat capacity or thermal capacity is given as Q is equal to M into S. This equation gives the heat capacity or thermal capacity.